Chef feeds homeless men. He owns a food empire and her heart. Sophia works in her small kitchen. Her hair sticks out from under her hat as steam rises from her cooking pot. Her restaurant, Harvest Table, smells good, but has few people eating tonight. "Not many customers again," Marco, her helper, says with a sad look. Sophia keeps cooking. "That's okay. More food for the people who need it." Every Thursday, Sophia makes extra food, not to sell, but to give to hungry people in the park near her restaurant. She does this even though she has money problems. There's a letter from the bank warning her about bills, but she still packs hot food into boxes. Sophia sets up a table in the park as the sky gets dark. People line up fast. She knows most of their faces. But tonight, there's a new man. He has a worn face and old but clean clothes. He waits at the back. "New here?" Sophia asks when it's his turn. She gives him a box of her special chicken stew. He takes the food with clean hands. He closes his eyes when he tastes it. "This," he says slowly, "is like the fancy food I ate in Paris." Sophia laughs. "How would a homeless man know about fancy food?" "Really," he says, his voice sounding different now. "But they used one herb. You used another herb and something sweet in your sauce." Sophia stops smiling. She looks at his face closely. "How do you know that?" "I also know you use special salt in your sauce," he says with a small smile. "I can taste these things." While the other homeless people leave, this man, who says his name is James, eats every bit of food. He talks about the tastes of someone who knows a lot about good food. Walking home, Sophia can't stop thinking about him. Who is this man? How does someone living on the street know more about good food than most cooks she knows? She doesn't know yet that meeting this man will save her restaurant and change her life forever. Next Thursday, Sophia looks for him. Her eyes scan the line of people waiting for food. She almost feels sad when she doesn't see him. But then, just as she's about to pack up, James appears. His beard is a bit neater today. He walks up with a small nod. "I was hoping you'd come back," she says, handing him the food. Today it's her beef stew with red wine sauce. "I wouldn't miss it," he says. After one bite, he looks up at her. "You cook the meat low and slow. Perfect." Over the next few weeks, James never misses a Thursday. Sophia finds herself cooking special things, wondering what he might say about them. She even starts to save him a bigger portion. Marco notices. "You like the homeless food critic, huh?" Sophia rolls her eyes. "I'm just curious. He knows things." One rainy Thursday, Sophia sets up a small tent to keep the food dry. The line is shorter because of the weather, and when James arrives, she invites him under the cover. "Try the mushroom soup," she says. "I use 3 kinds of mushrooms." James tastes it and smiles. "Porcini, shiitake, and—" He pauses, thinking. "Button mushrooms. But you cooked the porcinis first in butter before adding them." Sophia's mouth opens in surprise. "How do you know that?" "The texture tells the story," he says. "Good cooking has layers, just like good people." They talked longer that night. James tells her about how food should be honest, not fancy for no reason. Sophia finds herself nodding along to everything he says. "Food should feed the soul first, then the body," he says. When the rain gets worse, Sophia packs up. She almost asks James where he goes at night, but something stops her. Instead, she just says, "See you next week?" He nods. "I'll be here." The following Tuesday brings trouble to Harvest Table. 2 kitchen helpers call in sick. A food writer is coming to review the restaurant that night, and Sophia feels panic rising in her chest. "We can't do it," Marco says, sweating as orders pile up. "We need help." That's when Sophia spots James through the back window walking past the alley. Without thinking, she runs out the door. "James!" she calls. He turns, surprised to see her. "I need help. In the kitchen. I know it's crazy to ask, but—" "Yes," he says simply. Sophia blinks. "You'll help? Do you know how to work in a kitchen?" James just smiles. "Show me where the aprons are." What happens next shocks everyone. James moves around the kitchen like he was born there. His knife skills are perfect, fast and clean. He plates dishes like an artist. He even fixes Sophia's special sauce when it starts to break, adding a tiny bit of cold butter with a technique she's never seen. The food writer raves about every dish. The night ends as their best ever, but when Sophia turns to thank James, she sees him taking off his apron. "You saved us," she says. "Where did you learn to cook like that?" James looks at her for a long moment. "Here and there." "That's not an answer," Sophia says. "No one cooks like that without training." "Maybe I worked in restaurants before," is all he says. Marco pulls Sophia aside. "He knew how to make a sauce I saw on TV once, on a show about a famous French chef, the exact same way." Sophia watches James carefully. When she mentions the name of a famous restaurant in New York, his eyes flicker with recognition. When she purposely uses the wrong term for a cooking technique, he gently corrects her before catching himself. As he's about to leave, Sophia blocks the door. "Who are you really?" she asks. James looks at her with kind eyes. "Someone who appreciates good food and good people. Isn't that enough for now?" He leaves Sophia standing there, more confused than ever. But one thing is clear. She wants him to come back, not just on Thursdays anymore. What she doesn't know is that James has secrets bigger than she could imagine, and those secrets are about to change everything. The next morning, Sophia can't stop thinking about James and his amazing cooking skills. She counts the money in the register twice. It's not much, but it might be enough. When Thursday comes, she waits nervously in the park. James arrives right on time for the food program. As he eats, Sophia takes a deep breath. "I want to offer you a job," she says quickly. "Part-time in my kitchen." James stops eating. His face changes like he's fighting with himself inside. "I can't," he says finally. "Why not? You cook better than anyone I've ever seen." He looks away. "It's complicated." Sophia crosses her arms. "Try me." "I can't do paperwork," he says. "No forms, no bank accounts, no questions about my past." Sophia thinks about this. It's strange, maybe even wrong, but her restaurant needs help. "Cash only," she offers. 3 nights a week, no questions about your past. James looks at her for a long time. "2 conditions," he says finally. "I work in the back only, and if anyone asks about me, I'm just a helper you found." Sophia nods. "Deal." Marco isn't happy when Sophia tells him, "You hired a homeless guy with no papers? Are you crazy?" "You saw how he cooks," Sophia says. "We need him." The first night James works at Harvest Table, things change. He adds a small touch to the chicken dish, just a bit of lemon zest, and customers start raving. His fish cooking is perfect every time. He shows Sophia a new way to make her sauces smoother. By the second week, the tables start filling up. People tell their friends about the amazing food. Sophia even gets calls for reservations, something that never happened before. Late at night after closing, Sophia and James often cook together. Just testing new ideas, they tell themselves. But Sophia notices how her heart beats faster when their hands touch reaching for the same spoon. how she laughs more when he's around. One night they create a new dessert together. When James dips his finger in the warm chocolate sauce and offers Sophia a taste, she feels her cheeks get hot as she takes his finger in her mouth. "Sorry," he says, looking away quickly. "Don't be," she whispers. The air between them feels electric, but James always steps back, keeping a safe distance. Marco notices everything. One morning, while prepping vegetables, he corners Sophia. "You're falling for him," he says flatly. "I'm not," Sophia lies. "You don't know anything about this guy," Marco warns. "Where he came from, what he's running from, he could be anybody." "He's a good person," Sophia defends him. "I can feel it." Marco shakes his head. "Good people don't hide their past like it's a crime." Sophia tries to ignore these words, but they stick in her mind. Who is James, really? Sometimes she catches him looking at cooking magazines, studying the pictures of famous chefs with a strange look on his face. Despite the mystery, business gets better every week. James suggests they change the menu more often, using what's fresh at the local market. He shows Sophia how to talk to the farmers to get the best produce. He even fixes the broken oven that Sophia couldn't afford to repair. "How do you know about fixing ovens too?" she asks, amazed. James shrugs. "You learn a lot on the streets." But Sophia notices he uses tools like someone who's used them for years. His hands move with sure, practiced movements. One night, a food blogger comes in and raves about the hidden gem she's discovered. The next day, a line forms outside Harvest Table for the first time ever. "We did it," Sophia says, showing James the blog post on her phone. "You did it," he corrects her. "It's your vision, your restaurant." "But without you," she starts to say. James puts his hand over hers. His touch is warm, gentle. Sophia looks up into his eyes and sees something there, a sadness, but also a warmth that makes her feel safe. For a moment it seems like he might kiss her. Sophia holds her breath. Then the kitchen door swings open. Marco walks in, sees them, and frowns. James pulls his hand away quickly. "Order up," Marco says coldly. That night after closing, Sophia finds James looking at her wall of cooking awards and press clippings. "You're really talented," he says. "You could be famous if more people knew about you." Sophia laughs. "I don't need to be famous. I just need to keep my restaurant open." "What if you could do more?" James asks quietly. "Teach other chefs, maybe write a cookbook." The way he talks makes Sophia wonder again. Who is this man who thinks so big, who knows so much but lives with so little? As she watches him clean up the kitchen, moving with the grace of someone born to cook, Sophia knows two things for sure. Her restaurant is coming back to life, and her heart is no longer hers alone. What she doesn't know is that James has a whole other life waiting to collide with hers. And when it does, nothing will ever be the same. After a month of working together, the walls between Sophia and James start to come down. One Tuesday, James's day off, Sophia finds him sitting alone in the park where they first met. "Day off means you can go somewhere else, you know," she teases, sitting beside him. James smiles. "I like it here. It's peaceful." "Want to see something not peaceful but beautiful?" Sophia asks. That's how they end up at Sophia's favorite farmer's market. It's loud, busy, and full of life. Sophia pulls James from stand to stand, showing him how she picks the best tomatoes, the freshest herbs. "This is where the magic starts," she explains, smelling a ripe peach. "Before anything touches a pan." James watches her with a gentle smile. You really love this, don't you? Food is everything to me, Sophia admits. My mum taught me to cook when I was little. After she died, cooking was how I still felt close to her. James listens as Sophia shares more about her life. Her dreams of a cooking school for kids someday, her struggles keeping the restaurant open, the joy she feels when someone truly enjoys her food. "What about you?" she finally asks. "What's your story?" James looks away. "Not much to tell. Everyone has a story," Sophia pushes gently. He's quiet for a long moment. "I loved food all my life too, but somewhere along the way I lost the joy in it." He looks at her. "Until I tasted your cooking." Sophia feels her heart skip. The way he looks at her makes her forget all the questions about his past. At a small honey stand, the seller offers them tastes of different kinds. When a drop of honey falls on Sophia's hand, James gently takes her wrist and brings her hand to his lips. He kisses the honey from her skin, his eyes never leaving hers. Sophia can't breathe, can't move. "Sweet," he whispers. The moment breaks when someone bumps into them, but something has changed between them. On the walk back, their hands brush against each other until finally James takes her hand in his. Back at Harvest Table, business keeps getting better. One evening, a well-dressed woman with perfect hair and a notepad comes in for dinner. Sophia recognizes her as Patricia Kent, a famous food critic. "She can make or break us," Sophia whispers nervously to Marco. Sophia watches anxiously as Patricia eats. When the critic asks to meet the chef, Sophia proudly goes to her table. "The food was exceptional," Patricia says, "especially the fish dish." "Thank you," Sophia beams. "Your sous chef has a remarkable technique," Patricia continues. "Something about it seems familiar." Just then, James walks by with plates for another table. Patricia's eyes widened. She stares at him, then starts to rise from her chair. "Excuse me, aren't you—" James quickly turns away, disappearing into the kitchen. Sophia is confused, but finishes talking with Patricia, who seems distracted now. Later, Sophia asks James about it. "Did you know her?" "No," he says too quickly. "Just didn't want to interrupt your moment." Sophia doesn't push, but doubt creeps in. A few days later, Sophia is waiting for a food delivery in the front of the restaurant. On the table is a business magazine someone left behind. Bored, she flips through it. Her heart stops. There on page 38 is a face she knows. Older, clean-shaven, in an expensive suit. But those eyes. She'd know those eyes anywhere. James Blackwood, CEO of Taste Enterprises, has disappeared from public view, the caption reads. The billionaire food industry giant hasn't been seen in months after. The bell rings. The delivery man is at the door. Sophia quickly closes the magazine as she gets up. Her mind races. It can't be him. It can't. She's so shaken she doesn't notice James coming in the back door. When she turns, he's right there. "Everything okay?" he asks. "You look like you've seen a ghost." Sophia opens her mouth to confront him, but the delivery man needs her signature. By the time she's done, the moment feels lost. She needs to be sure before she says anything. That night, they work side by side in comfortable silence. Sophia watches his hands, his face, trying to match him to the man in the magazine. Could a billionaire CEO really be working in her kitchen for cash under the table? Friday night is their busiest ever. Sophia feels happy despite her questions. Whatever his past, James has helped save her restaurant. They're about to close when a tall woman in an expensive suit walks in. The restaurant is empty except for staff cleaning up. "I'm sorry, we're closed," Sophia says. The woman ignores her, scanning the room. When her eyes land on James coming from the kitchen, she marches straight to him. "Finally," she says loudly. "Do you have any idea what you've put us through, James? The board is in chaos. The London deal is falling apart. You can't just disappear like this." The kitchen goes silent. Everyone stares. James's face hardens. "Andrea, this isn't the place." 3 months, the woman continues. 3 months with no word, to work as a cook in some tiny restaurant. Sophia feels like the floor is tilting under her. So it's true. James looks at Sophia, his eyes full of pain. "I can explain." But Sophia backs away. "Who are you? Really?" The woman looks between them, then understanding dawns on her face. "Oh, my God, she doesn't know." She turns to Sophia. "You've had James Blackwood, owner of $1 billion food empire, washing dishes for you." Sophia feels sick. "Get out," she whispers. "Sophia, please." James steps toward her. "Both of you, get out," Sophia shouts, tears filling her eyes. As James is pulled away by his assistant, he looks back at Sophia one last time. "It was never about the money," he calls her. "It was about feeling something real again." The door closes behind them, leaving Sophia standing in her kitchen, surrounded by her staff, feeling more alone than ever. Sophia doesn't sleep that night. Her mind keeps showing her pictures of James's face, the homeless man she fed, the cook who saved her kitchen, and now this stranger from the magazine. James Blackwood, billionaire. The next morning she sits alone in her empty restaurant. The chairs are still upside down on the tables from last night's cleaning. A soft knock on the door makes her heart jump. She knows who it is before she looks up. James stands outside, clean-shaven now, wearing nice clothes that fit him perfectly. He looks like the man from the magazine, but his eyes are still the eyes she knows. Sophia wants to ignore him, but finds herself walking to the door. She unlocks it, but blocks the entrance. 5 minutes, she says coldly. James doesn't try to come in. "I'm sorry," he says simply. "For what part? Lying about who you are? Using me for some rich guy game?" "I never lied about who I am," he says quietly. "Just what I own." Sophia laughs without joy. "You own $1 billion food company. That's a pretty big thing to leave out." "Can I please come in, just to talk?" Sophia steps aside. James walks to the table where they used to sit after closing, planning next day's menu. It feels like a lifetime ago now. "Why?" Sophia asks, not sitting down. "Why pretend to be homeless? Why work in my kitchen for cash? Was this all research for your big company?" James shakes his head. "No, it was me trying to find myself again." He tells her his story, how he started with one small restaurant 20 years ago, how his food made people happy, how he built more restaurants, then a company, then bought other companies, how meetings and money and business took over until he couldn't remember the last time he actually cooked something. "I was lost," he says. "Food became numbers on paper. I couldn't taste anything anymore, food or life." "So you decided to play poor, to laugh at people who actually struggle." Sophia's voice shakes. "I wasn't playing," James says. "I gave away my money. I lived on the streets. I needed to remember what was real." "And I was just part of your journey to find yourself?" Sophia asks, hurt filling her voice. "No." James stands up, moves toward her. "Meeting you was unexpected. Your food, it was the first thing that made me feel something in years. And then you..." You made me feel everything." Sophia turns away, fighting tears. "How convenient for you. And now what? You go back to your big office and your billions. Write a book about your time with the little people." "I want to help you," James says. "Your restaurant has so much potential. I can invest." "No," Sophia spins around, eyes flashing. "I don't want your money." "Sophia, please, let me do this. Your food should be shared with the world. So you can own me too?" She steps closer, jabbing a finger at his chest. "I was never part of your world, James, or whatever your name really is. I'm just a chef who was stupid enough to think—" She stops, voice breaking. "Think what?" James asks softly. "That you cared about me, not my food. Me." James reaches for her hand. "I do care, more than I've cared about anything in a very long time." Sophia pulls away. "I think your 5 minutes are up." James looks at her for a long moment. He reaches into his pocket and places a business card on the table. "If you ever change your mind about anything," he says. Then he walks to the door. He turns back one last time. "What we made in this kitchen was real, Sophia. The food, the feelings, all of it." Then he's gone. Sophia sinks into a chair, finally letting the tears come. The next few weeks are hard. Sophia tries to keep cooking like before, but something is missing. The dishes don't taste the same. Customers still come, but the magic is gone. Marco watches her move around the kitchen like a ghost. "You miss him," he says one night. "I miss who I thought he was," Sophia answers. But at night, alone, Sophia remembers James's hands chopping vegetables beside her. His smile when the sauce came out was perfect, the way he looked at her in the farmer's market that day. Was it all a lie? Bills start piling up again. The short time of success fades away. One night a pipe bursts in the kitchen, flooding the floor. The repair will cost more than Sophia has. She sits on the wet floor, crying, James's business card in her hand. It would be so easy to call, to accept his money. But something stops her. Pride, maybe, or fear that if she lets him help her restaurant, she might also let him back into her heart. And that's the scariest part. Even knowing who he really is, even feeling betrayed and used, she still misses him. Still wonders what might have been if he had just been honest from the start. Sophia puts the card away, gets up, and starts mopping the floor. She will find another way. She always has. What she doesn't know is that James is struggling too, sitting in his big office with its perfect view, wearing his expensive suit. He's never felt more empty, because now he knows exactly what he's missing. 3 weeks after James left, Sophia gets a letter that makes her heart sink. The building owner is selling the place. All businesses have 30 days to leave or pay double the rent. Double? Marco looks at the paper in shock. We can barely pay normal rent. Sophia sits heavily in a chair. I don't know what to do. That afternoon, a man in an expensive suit comes to the restaurant. He smiles too much and puts a card on the table. Felix Reed, from Reed Restaurant Group. Sophia knows this company. They buy small restaurants and turn them into chain places with the same food in every city. We'd like to buy a harvest table, the man says smoothly. We've heard good things. It's not for sale, Sophia answers. The man's smile doesn't change. With your eviction coming, you might want to rethink that. We're offering good money. Sophia freezes. How do you know about the eviction? The letter just came today. The man shrugs. We know the building owner. Actually, Reed Group might buy this whole building. After he leaves, Sophia learns that Reed Group is the biggest rival to Blackwood Foods, James's company. Are they only interested because of her connection to James? The thought makes her feel sick. That night, Sophia couldn't sleep. She sits at her kitchen table at home, looking through old cooking magazines for comfort. In one from last month, there's an article she hadn't noticed before. Blackwood Foods launches major food bank initiative. The photo shows big food trucks with "Fresh Food for All" painted on the sides. The article says James Blackwood started this program to bring good food to people who can't afford it, inspired by local heroes already doing this work. Sophia's throat tightens. She remembers telling James about how her mother always fed people in need, how that's why she started her own food program. The next day, Sophia visits her friend Thomas, who works at City Kitchen, the biggest food bank downtown. She's shocked to see one of the Blackwood food trucks there. "Oh yeah, they've been amazing," Thomas tells her. "They don't just bring canned stuff. They bring fresh ingredients, teach cooking classes." The director said Blackwood himself insisted on quality, not just quantity. Sophia helps unpack boxes, her mind racing. This doesn't feel like something a cold businessman would do for show. Later, Sophia's friend Gina, who works at a food magazine, calls her excitedly. "Sophia, why didn't you tell me?" Gina bubbles through the phone. "Tell you what? Blackwood Foods is featuring your recipes. They're crediting you by name." Sophia feels like the floor is dropping away. "What are you talking about?" Gina explains that Blackwood Foods just launched a new line of restaurant-quality sauces. The press release says they're created in partnership with Sophia Martinez of Harvest Table. They're calling you a culinary genius. After the call, Sophia sits alone in her empty restaurant. She never gave James permission to use her recipes, but he didn't steal them. He gave her full credit. She picks up a magazine with James's face on it. The headline asks where he disappeared for 3 months. Sophia knows the answer. He was here, washing dishes, chopping vegetables, and looking at her like she was something precious. The eviction notice sits on the counter. The Reed Group's card sits beside it. Sophia finally admits the truth to herself. She could lose everything because she's too proud to call the one person who could help. The one person who saw her, really saw her, when he had nothing. And maybe, just maybe, she pushed away the one person she was starting to love. Sophia stares at her computer screen. On it is a news story about the big food show happening downtown tomorrow. James Blackwood will speak about his company's new direction. All the important food people will be there. "I need to go," Sophia tells Marco. "To talk to him?" Marco asks. "Finally." Sophia nods. "But I need help getting in. It's invite only." Marco smiles and makes a call. His cousin works security at the event center. It's not a perfect plan, but it's all she has. The next day, Sophia waits nervously outside the service entrance. Marco's cousin lets her slip in with the catering staff. She finds herself in a huge room filled with food stands and important-looking people in suits. On a stage at the front, James is about to speak. He looks different in his perfect suit and tie, but still somehow the same. Sophia's heart beats faster. James begins talking about food quality and community. "Food isn't just business," he says to the crowd. "It's about connecting people." Sophia takes a deep breath and starts walking toward the stage. Security guards notice her, but she walks faster. "Excuse me," she calls out, her voice shaking. "I have something to say." The room goes quiet. Everyone stares. James looks up, sees her, and freezes. "Ma'am, you can't be here," a security guard says, taking her arm. "It's okay," James says quickly into the microphone. "Let her speak." Sophia climbs onto the stage. Up close, she can see the surprise in James's eyes, and something else. Hope, maybe. "My name is Sophia Martinez," she says to the crowd. "I own a small restaurant called Harvest Table, and I have a business offer for James Blackwood." Whispers fill the room. James looks confused but nods for her to continue. "For 3 months," Sophia says, "this man worked in my kitchen, not as a boss, not as a billionaire, but as someone who cared about good food and helping others." She turns to face James directly now. "I was angry when I found out who you really were. I thought you used me, but then I saw what you did. The food banks, using my recipes with my name on them. You weren't taking from me. You were trying to lift me up." James steps closer to her. "Sophia, let me finish," she says. "I have an idea, not charity, not you saving me, but a real partnership." Sophia explains her vision, restaurants that are half high-end dining, half community kitchens, places where good food is for everyone, not just people with money, cooking schools for kids from poor neighborhoods, using the power of James's company to make good food accessible to all. "You have the business skills. I have the heart and recipes. Together we could change how people think about food," she finishes. The room is silent. Then James takes the microphone. "I've been working on something similar," he admits. "A foundation for food education and access. But something was missing something." He looks at Sophia. "It was missing you." He turns to the crowd. "Ms. Martinez is right. Food should bring people together, not separate them by price. And I can think of no better partner for this vision." People start clapping. Camera flashes pop around them. James leans close to Sophia. "Was that your only reason for coming here today? Business?" Sophia smiles. "No." "What's the other reason?" he asks quietly. "I missed you," she says simply. "The real you. The one who helped me cook for homeless people on Thursdays. The one who knew exactly how much salt to add without measuring. The one who looked at me like I was something special." James takes her hand, right there, in front of everyone. "You are special," he says, "and I've missed you too, more than I can say." 1 month later, Sophia and James stand side by side in the park. They're serving food from a new truck with Harvest Table Community Kitchen painted on the side. It's Thursday, still their day for feeding people in need. "Try the new sauce," Sophia tells a woman with a small child. "James made it this morning." James smiles as he hands out bread. He no longer wears expensive suits every day. Sometimes he's just a cook again, and those are his happiest days. After everyone is fed, Sophia and James walk hand in hand back to the restaurant. Their restaurant now. It's been rebuilt, bigger than before. One side is still Harvest Table, the fancy place where people make reservations weeks ahead. The other side is the community table, where good food is cheap or free, depending on what people can pay. "Happy?" James asks, squeezing her hand. Sophia nods. "Who knew a billionaire would be my secret ingredient?" James laughs and pulls her close. "And who knew a chef with a big heart would save me from my own success?" As they reach the restaurant, they see the sign they created together. "Good food is love made visible." Under the sign, they kiss, the chef and her once homeless billionaire, now partners in every way that matters. Inside, staff prepare for another busy night. Photos on the wall show their story. Sophia feeding James that first night, them cooking together, opening new community kitchens across the city. It's just the beginning of their shared vision. And the food? It's never tasted better.